Привет, меня зовут Michael. Добро пожаловать. Hello, welcome to the Polyglot Files. My name is Michael and today we're doing our fourth video in the Learn Russian vlog series. Between the last video and this video, I really haven't had the opportunity to sit down and devote a lot of time to learning Russian intensely. I'd mostly been doing sort of passive language learning, meaning that I've been using Duolingo and I've been reviewing my notes that I've previously taken on the Russian language. But I really haven't been able to sit down to take the time to learn a lot of new things. But today that changes. Today is the first day that I actually have a day off work where I don't have something planned. So I was hoping to take the next 3 to 5 hours to really delve into Russian and take it to the next level. I'm gonna go get started. I'll check back in a couple hours. And welcome back. This is going to be sort of an interim report or a midway checkup on my Russian for today. I've just finished my 4th Duolingo module. For those who are keeping track, that means I've finished Basics 2, and it kind of was pretty intense and interesting enough that it actually led me into a different direction than where I thought I was going to go. And that is mainly because I learned how to conjugate the verb to have, and it turns out that even though there is a verb to have in Russian, the more common way to say to have in Russian actually doesn't even really include a verb at all. So instead of saying something like I have in Russian, you would say at me there is blah blah blah. For example, we might get something like меня есть яблоко, which means I have an apple, or literally translated, at me there is an apple. So anyway, that is sort of my intro report. I'm going to dive back into this and I will see you all soon. And I'm back again. So in addition to having learned how to use the to have construction in Russian, I have also started to learn other verbs. I've started chapter or lesson 4 of the New Penguin Russian course, and kind of conveniently it is talking about verbs. From what I can tell, there are 2 types of verb groups in Russian. It's kind of reminiscent of the 3 verb groups that are in French, in addition to obviously the irregular verbs. We have our verbs that are conjugated like the verb to know, which is znat, and then we have our verbs that are conjugated like to speak, говорить. And then of course there are some irregulars. They've given me 2 irregulars here that they say are kind of close to that first group of verbs, but which undergo some stem changes. And those include ехать, which means to go, and also жить, which means to live. The textbook also gives me a really handy summary table of all the, I guess, verb groups that they've taught so far. And I'm also really happy that negation, which seems to be something that they give all of a paragraph in this textbook, seems to be pretty straightforward. Just add ня in front of a verb and you're good to go. So if we have something like я знаю, which means I know, we can just add ня there and we get I don't know. Я не знаю. The chapter also goes on to talk about cases, namely the prepositional case, but I'm not sure I'm going to tackle that today, only because that seems to be a whole nother direction that I'm not sure I'm willing to go into yet, simply because I haven't yet mastered present tense of verbs, and I would prefer to do that before taking on something as intricate as cases. So I think I'm going to leave the prepositional case as well as the dialogue for another day. So to recap, it has been about 3 hours. I have done a massive review of the 4 Duolingo modules that I have done, all the way up to Basics 2. I also learned the construction that I need in order to say I have or you have, and I've begun to learn how to conjugate verbs in the present tense. This has been a lot of information to take in, so I think I'm going to stop it here for today. But thanks for watching the Polyglot Files. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, let me know what you're thinking. What are some tips and tricks that I can use to help me learn these verbs? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and I will see you next time. Спасибо, до свидания.